The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
A recap of the biggest day in fashion in the Bahamas and highlights from the speech from the throne as the Davis administration officially begins its second term. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. Great to have you along this evening. From pomp and pageantry to bold colors, statement hats, and tailored sophistication, today's opening of Parliament was not just a display of democracy, but a runway of Bahamian style and political tradition. My team and I are beginning tonight's show with Style Rewind. We break down the standout looks, fashion moments, and the symbolism stitched into one of the country's most ceremonial events. To get it started tonight is style and fashion expert, businesswoman Latoya Moxie. Latoya, good evening to you. Great to see you. We did this. It's so funny, you and I. We did this. Oh my God, nearly
4 years ago.
Like almost 5 years ago.
Yes.
The last opening of Parliament, Latoya sat right here and she did exactly what she's about to do tonight. Latoya, I'll tell you this. Before we get started, was there an absolute standout fashion-wise for you today?
Oh, definitely. I will say, well, first of all, I think Bahamian culture, we always bring our A game. We bring it all. We always put it all out there. But I have to say, I hope I don't get in trouble for this because there were a lot of really great looks, but my favorite female, whether it was a parliamentarian or a guest, would have been, and forgive me for the protocol, you'll establish it later, but Leslie Miller Brace. I think she was
stunning.
just,
yeah.
I mean, the epitome of elegance, couture, tailor, structure. She got every single thing, everything right.
Yes, I imagine
Everything right.
because, you know, of course, I was here behind the desk with our team, the Eyewitness News team, and our guests. So I only can see or saw it from what my vantage point. I imagine in person it must have been really breathtaking to look at.
Yes, I love the fact that it was such a textured look. Not everybody can pull off a textured look, and she's very demure. She's very tall, very statuesque. So for some people, it could be very risky putting all of that, the fans, the side swirl in the cinema fascinator, the structure in her bag, the gloves, the peplum, the mermaid. Like there was a lot going on.
By the way, you all, we will be inserting photographs of
Yes.
just some of Latoya's top looks and pics throughout this segment. So that's what you'll be seeing on the screen.
Yeah, but she got it right. She got it right. And like I said, there could have been a lot. Like as you can see on the screen, she had a side swirl cinema fascinator, which is very modern, very trending. I love the fact that she respected the protocol, but she added personality with it. And her height was something that was just on display. The mermaid gown, just the silhouette, it really just accentuated her shape. And if you pay attention to the way Leslie dresses, she normally does very asymmetrical, A-line, straight, slim-fitting outfits.
Yes.
But this particular look, like it accentuated her physique, and it was a really great silhouette for her. And I think that she was complimented exceptionally well by her husband. I think the morning suit that he wore, and we're gonna get into morning suits in a minute, but I love his modern take on the morning suit. Normally the morning suit would be the opposite way of what he's done. You would see the lighter on the bottom with stripes, and you would see darker on the top. So I love the fact that he had that pop of gray. That was kind of daring, but it worked. And it didn't take the limelight or the spotlight away from her. So I think, I mean, almost literally, don't get myself in trouble here, but I would say definitely top three best couple. I will say that.
Top three. I'm waiting to hear.
Top three best couple.
So we know that they made the top three in terms of best dressed couple.
Yes.
Leslie, perhaps the most outstanding female dressed. Okay, so before we get into all of that, because I know you all are waiting, while the styles varied today, Today is steeped in tradition. You kind of
Yeah.
alluded to it. Let's get into that. Let's talk about the fact that, number one, we know local designers were kept very busy. You will shout out
Yes.
some of them in a minute. But let's talk about the tradition of the morning suit and sort of the whole British influence about what today represents in the Bahamas.
So we've had a long-standing custom. We don't have a playbook. We don't have a public, I guess, playbook of what we should be dressing like. But there's been a long-standing custom that we have been indoctrinated in by Westminster culture, and that's something that we play upon. And I love the fact that we use our personality to express the Westminster background that we are so accustomed to presenting, and we did it in a different way. I've seen it over the years, but this time I think we really showed a personality, and it's a testament to speak to what this administration, this government is about as well.
By herself
All the
with
structure.
that, yeah.
Anastasia Palacios, I love the color. One thing I have to say though, Shanique, and I think you and I spoke about this before, it is very difficult. Some people, your screens are showing you yellow, some screens are showing you green.
I missed that Lincoln Deal's wife.
Yes.
Showed up, obviously
I love
very,
that.
very pregnant and looking nice.
Lincoln Deal and Beth Deal, also my top 3 couple, they gave Camelot. If there was a thing in the Bahamas, they gave that. And I loved it. They scream youthfulness. They scream just what we should expect. A couple who is new family and young politician up and thriving and striving.
Like
This is. This is picture perfect. It should be in a magazine, and they're expanding their family. Congratulations to them, obviously. But I think that she always gets it right. I think she looks demure. She looks elegant. This is a representation of class personified. They got it right as a couple.
Yeah.
I love the fact this is Lincoln's first time in the house
And
representing
Lincoln is
in a morning suit
as well. Yes.
And he kept it very traditional.
Yes.
As a young person, I was surprised to see him stay so classic and traditional.
I applaud him
but
for that as
sometimes,
well.
simplicity is best. And,
Yes.
and they got it right, keeping it simple. So everybody that I saw represented their personality properly. They respected, for the most part, they respected the protocol, and they just had pumps of their personality showing you who they are. And I think that that's a testament to how far we've come in the style and the fashion era for all of these pomp and pageantry. It was a whole week of it, I have to say. But today was the epitome and the culmination of seeing exactly how serious people take their appearance. My mom always used to say, dress how you want to be addressed. And I think a lot of people in Parliament got it right today.
They got it right today for the most part. You're absolutely right. And I know you were talking about color and how colors can appear. I even asked you, please tell me what color this is, because on television, this looks absolutely yellow.
Yeah.
You mentioned Anastasia Palacios as well.
Yes.
Right,
So
go ahead.
I want to talk about Star's look. I briefly saw this in IG story earlier. And Star is known for a very whimsical approach to her style. She is not your typical classic, simple, simplistic, minimalistic type of dress. She comes with all of the animation, and I'm here for it because it is truly her style. I love the fact, her hats are always a thing. If there's nothing else she's going to do, her hats are going to be a statement. And I think it takes a special kind of eye to appreciate, all that she's giving with the hat. But what I loved is that she tied it in with that canary yellow caped ensemble. It was a British designer. It was a UK designer. I think it was called Matt Store that she purchased this outfit from.
Yes.
And so this look, I love the fact that it's an ode to our culture as well.
Well, first of all, do you know Leslie's designer?
I do. So Leslie was designed by April Jasmine, also known as April Burrows. And I've been working with April for a long time. And I remember when she got the call to do this look, and she was like, oh, we have to make it better than last year. And if you remember last year, Leslie wore brocade. And it was a statement piece as well, but it didn't photograph well. This actually photographs well because of the texture. And I think this could easily have been very costumey because of what's going on, but because of how delicate the texture is with the fans and the buttons and the tassels and the rosettes placed in the perfect place, it was amazing.
We also saw Ginger Moxie. We saw, I think it was JoBeth Colby Davis.
Yes.
We saw Pia Global. Were they local designers as well?
Yes. So I can tell you that JoBeth's outfit, her ensemble was also bought. She usually goes with a Bahamian designer, but I was told that this time it was bought. Pia Glover Roll went with, I know her hat was made by Nishan Roll. I can't remember the name of Nishan's company, but he styled a lot of people. And that slate blue, I mean, it was just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Her whole outfit, what I appreciated, what people don't understand, with Parliament, there's a particular style of dress. Like I said, we stick to the Westminster way of doing things, right? So with parliamentarians, male and female, you have to go with dark colors. You either go with lounge suits, or dark lounge suits or morning suits if you're male. Women, hats, gloves, dark colors. Again, navies, blues acceptable, not too much jewelry, no overexposure of skin. So that's really important. And I think for the most part, if you wanted to go the route of showing skin, Pia did it right. She had a mesh beaded look that wasn't too loud. It was quiet.
It was quiet. Yeah, you had to sort of look to see a little bit
when
of
the
skin.
sun hit it,
There's that
and when
photo,
the sun hit it, I mean, the beads just glowed. I absolutely love that slate blue hat. I mean, Nishan did an amazing job. One of my favorite hats, actually, of the day. Oh my gosh, I want that hat.
Now, your top 3 women, you would say?
Oh, yeah. My top 3 women, this one's a tough one. I had to categorize it. Parliamentarian women, I would say definitely Leslie. She knocked it out of the park. Then I would say Pia.
Okay.
The third one,
you're gonna get people angry.
I know. The third one, now remember, this is subjective. This is just what I paid attention to. But the third one was a little tricky for me because I noticed there were a lot of capes. There was a lot of trenching going on as well. And last year for me, she did something similar, but she did it more dramatic this year, Ginger Moxley. Ginger actually had a tuxedo-like ensemble last year, and she 2.0'd it this year.
Okay.
So I would say out of the 3 women in the parliamentarian side of it,
yes,
I would say that would be my top 3.
Yeah.
Just at first glance. Definitely Leslie, best dressed, for sure. All of the women brought their personalities. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they really, I think they turned out exceptionally well, really well. And I want to ask you, before we get to, I think there's Ginger Moxie right there.
Yes.
Before we get to, I think you may have mentioned top 3 couples, not sure as yet, because I saw, I'll tell you, we here, and they thought that Sabas's partner with that sort of, the middle piece of her gown, or I'm not sure what the ensemble was.
The diamond.
There it is right there. There, when that picture's a still. To see her moving, it seems to be some sort of middle piece that just is connected. It looked pretty.
So Brianna was dressed by Felicia Ellis, another local designer.
Oh, okay.
What I loved about a lot of there was a theme today. There was a lot of ivories, off-white, cream. There was a lot of baby blues, and there was a lot of cobalt and navy blues. So blue was the color. Blue was the color today.
Blue was the color.
Let's
talk about your top 3 men. Of course, he went with
my
just
top 3
a
men.
suit, but
okay,
I want to hear
this
the
is
top
probably
3 men.
where I'm going to get slaughtered. This is where I'm going to get slaughtered, but I'm going to give it to you the way I saw it.
Yes.
I appreciated the men that did wear morning suits. That's not an easy thing to do if it doesn't fit your personality. But if you follow our culture, our customs, our tradition, that's what you do. That's what you're there for. This is the day to do that. So when you are literally swearing in and you are representing everything Westminster, you gotta feel like you're that person. So this is not my favorite, but I would say kudos to Adrian White for actually following the Westminster protocol from head to toe. I think that was the only top hat I saw. That was the only everything. The cane, he did all of it. So kudos to him for following the protocol. Kudos to Adrian for following the protocol. But I would say, I know a lot of people were questioning whether it was appropriate for the House, Mikel Barnaby.
Well, I'll tell you, before you give your opinion on Mikel and your rating of his suit, Ruben Romming went so far as to say this, and I hope Mikel is watching. Ruben, I hope you're watching. Ruben said on our broadcast earlier today that Mikel's suit was a fail.
Well,
your thoughts?
Thankfully, Ruben is not in the world of fashion. Most men aren't, and most men are not as daring, as confident, and as bold. I can appreciate that about Mikel. I think you have to be so true to yourself, right? First and foremost, this is a modern government. This is a modern administration. Look at where we were 20 years ago and who was in the House compared to who we have now. It's a younger, youthful, vibrant administration.
It is.
And Mikhail has never been one to shy away from who he is. And I mean, again, dress the way you want to be addressed. And I think this was very daring. It was very bold. It was risky. It could have come off, but I believe his 6'4" stature
Carried it off.
his salt and pepper complexion and the dark chocolate skin, it popped with that blue suit.
Well, Ruben did try to make it up and say, but you know, he shows up, he's well turned out everywhere he goes. He looks amazing.
He is. Yeah. It was not a fail. I thought it was a win because you want to be remembered, right? The goal is to be remembered. And he didn't do loud in an obnoxious way. I thought he did loud in a confident way. And it's a true testament to who he is as a person. He's extremely confident. Yeah. He knows who he is when he walks in a room. Yeah. And he represents for himself, his family, and his constituency. Absolutely. And I think he did it very well today.
Okay, awesome. The other two men who stood out and who got it right.
I loved the way Zane Lightbourne looked.
Yeah.
Another tall, very statuesque person, and did it right with the morning suit. I love that some men stepped out of their comfort zone with the blue. He did it right, and I would say Leander Bryce with his morning suit.
With his morning suit. So you see, I hope you all noticed something. Latoya gave kudos and high marks, in fact, winning marks to all the men who stuck with the morning suits. I mean, come on, it's who we are,
I
what
have
we
to
do.
interject. Yeah. I know who actually made Mikhail's morning suit. Oh. Mikhail actually was dressed by a designer called Andre Julius. He tailors suits for NFL players, ESPN analysts and actors, as well as the president of Hampton University. So he stepped out of the box because he wanted something different and custom, and I thought he did it well.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickly, top three couples.
Top three couples, in no particular order. I would say Mikhail and Lena Barnaby. I would say Leslie and Miller Bryce and Leander Bryce, and I would say Beth and Lincoln Deal.
I think people would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people would agree with those top three. They showed up very, very well. And I like the Camelot reference you did to Beth and Lincoln Deal. Really.
So much to look forward to with that couple.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
They
made me excited to want to see who they will become as his journey progresses.
Awesome, yeah. Latoya, really so awesome just sitting here. I mean, we did this again, and she keeps saying last year. She meant last opening of
That's
Parliament.
Right.
And so it's really awesome to have you here. You're a style icon yourself.
Thank you.
You know, and so it's always good to have your expert eye share with us and bring some light moments and insight to Bahamian style.
Yeah, there was so much more. Tia Sante Small looked really nice. Her brother KGB looked really nice. Everybody did it well for the most part. There were some hits, there were some misses. There's some conversation on shapewear. You know, that's a conversation for another day.
That's a whole another day.
But there's a lot to unpack. But it was a really good representation of style and fashion tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much. Of course, we had to bring the expert in for this. You know, it's a big day in the Bahamas style-wise and otherwise as well, government-wise. But we had to bring in the expert to give her opinion, because when she talked about brocade and all the rest, I have no idea. And what color is this, by the way?
I would say this could be a cross between a celadon green and a citron green. But I don't know what people's TVs look like. And that's what we have to be so careful, because everybody's TV ain't created equally with the HD and the 4K and the...
Yeah, absolutely right.
It's definitely a shade of green.
Yeah, it's a shade of green, you all. It's shade of green. I thank you so much, Latoya Moxie. Thank you for being here. And thank you so much for helping Beyond the Headlines highlight the wonderful, beautiful moments of today's opening of Parliament. Well, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're staying there, but we're looking at some of the policy initiatives. And maybe you'll be surprised when you see my panel after the break. Stay close.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. Well, just look at those. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains them 24/7.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price at any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
5 cars, catch the keys, don't blink, take these.
Island Luck is giving away 5 brand new cars. Earn 10 reward points for a chance to enter and win. Enter weekly from Monday 12 a.m. to Sunday 2 p.m. Winners are announced Sundays at 3 p.m. on 103.5 The Beat and Island Luck Socials. 5 cars, 5 weeks. The more you play, the better your chances. Visit islandluck.com for more information. Catch the keys only at Island Luck. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. Of course, you know today is all about the opening of Parliament. At the top of tonight's show, if you're just joining us, you must go back and watch after I come up here, because we talked about the fashions. We called something called Style Rewind, and it was really, really super. So we talked about the top 3 couples, the top 3 women, the top 3 men. You must go back and have a look at that and see if you agree, because you may think differently. But we're going to continue moving right along. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. My contribute, because you all got to see them first before I even get into what I'm getting into. These ladies were out on the town today, all over the opening of Parliament festivities and all the rest of it. And so welcome to Beyond the Headlines, and good evening, Peggy, Candace, Gabrielle, Mackenzie, Ineas. Ladies, you both look stunning.
Thank you.
I see your fascinators. I missed the fascinator. I missed that memo. But you both look stunning. So I am sure you both attended then.
Yes, fabulous day.
Yes, wonderful. I'll ask you all then. Was there a fashion, a couple, an individual, male, female, that stood out to you?
For me, it was the deals. I mean, they just took it. They took it all.
Good evening, Bahamas. Let me get my manners together. And good evening, Shanique. It's so good to be here. Of course, I concur with Peggy. The deals were just, sometimes less is more, and they just did enough. I mean, to land Latoya got it right on the head with them. It was just, it gave us, that's the family I aspire to have. Mm-hmm. It gave us award winning. It gave us picturesque. It gave us everything we needed and more. And I loved it. And listen, they fed the children today. The children were here for it.
Yeah, they really were stunning.
Yes,
I saw
beautiful.
the photos. Of course, I saw it from this vantage point. You both saw them in person. I imagine they were even more stunning.
Yes.
And then, of course, you heard her top 3 females, her top 3 couples. They are in the top 3, and the top 3 men as well. But you agree with the top 3 men?
I agreed. I agreed with her. A lot of person, I think, with Barnaby, it's definitely perspective in terms of fashion, because a lot of people don't take fashion risk. And because of his confidence will definitely carry you over in an outfit. You can have on the most hideous wig, but if you have confidence, I mean, that wig is going to look like boom, boom, boom. And Barnaby has the nobody need to give him nothing. He has all the confidence to definitely wear a look like that.
But my favorite male was KG Barnaby. I mean, the soft baby blue or powder blue. He had a crisp white shirt. His color was black bow tie. And if you want a man who has confidence, you can't pass him. And so he stood out so much that he was interviewed by one of the media houses.
Who is this now?
Yes,
KG.
it's the Senator DeSantis Smalls, her brother.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I did see KG, and KG was definitely stunning. He's another one that takes fashion risk, very fashion forward. If you see him in person anytime on an ordinary day, always well dressed, well put together.
Now, ladies, I'll tell you this: Latoya does have a keen eye for fashion. We all know her. She has been in fashion for decades now, really. Here in the Bahamas, is a trusted voice. She shows up with her look as well, which is always just seamless, really awesomely,
Like tonight.
always turned out like tonight, for example. But I think she overlooked one particular look, just one. I wonder if the guys, Eric, you told me that it's ready. I don't know if you are Justin. This look, this is quite it's quite conservative. I see. I don't know fabrics and all that to talk about it, but there's a nice big sort of accentuation piece there on. Talk about this look, y'all.
The pattern. Listen, your viewers will know this one because this is one of your panelists
One of my panelists that frequented this show.
That has frequented this show.
And pops in from time to time. Yes.
No stranger, McTaya Farrington definitely stepped onto the red carpet, fashion forward, fully dressed and regaled. I think I have who McTaya's stylist is. So McTaya was styled by D. Ross. His makeup was by Kelton Smith and hair by Beyonce Forbes. So the girls were out for McTaya.
You slip in a heat.
Of course, that's McTayer. McTayer is a beautiful young man, and he looks. No, I don't mean to say that to be funny. I'm just saying McTayer looks good, and this and that, and he showed up, and he looked just as good as anybody else there at the opening of Parliament today. McTayer, of course, is keenly interested in politics. And so this is something that he participates in, and he likes to be involved. Someone said, Peggy, that their wife wants the hat when you're done. Before you leave here, they want you to leave it in my possession so that their wife can have the hat. Now, ladies, let's move forward with this because the speech from the throne really is extremely important. It really is. It sort of laid out what this administration intends to try and accomplish and work to get done this term. And so let's dissect this speech. Let's look at how many of the policy initiatives announced and how they will impact you out there who is watching. A second consecutive term is now officially underway as the Davis administration made public its legislative agenda. While much of the agenda appears to build on promises and initiatives already set in motion, attention is now turning to whether this new term will be defined by continuity or bold reform as Bahamians look for greater action on issues impacting their everyday lives like healthcare, housing, crime, the economy. We get this story from Jose Etienne.
The government's agenda for its second consecutive term is now coming into clearer focus, with officials outlining what they plan to begin and continue in national security, healthcare, education, and other areas of national interest. But given that healthcare remains one of the country's most pressing issues, not only under this administration but under successive governments, it is fair to say many people were looking for stronger commitments and greater detail on how officials plan to tackle long-standing problems in the system. It comes as healthcare professionals and residents have continued to raise concerns about the current state of healthcare in country.
My government will continue to advance the infrastructural development program already underway, including the health campus in Freeport, the new hospital in New Providence.
Those plans are already part of the government's broader agenda. However, they may not fully ease the concerns of many nurses and doctors who have previously voiced frustration about working conditions and other challenges within the system. Today's speech from the throne did not specifically address some of those issues, including working conditions, supply shortages at some facilities, salaries, and benefits. These are issues that have previously led to industrial action and warnings of further action if concerns are not addressed. Nonetheless, there were several new initiatives mentioned.
My government will continue to implement the Dental Professions Bill while modernizing dental regulation within the Bahamas.
The speech also reinforced several commitments Bahamians heard during the recent campaign period.
My government also intends to strengthen legal protections and support systems for elderly Bahamians through a new elder abandonment framework.
More on healthcare.
My government will further extend contributory health insurance coverage to the public servants, including contract workers.
Despite continuing concerns surrounding healthcare, there is also growing interest in the new Ministry of Innovation and National Development, led by political newcomer Minister Sebastian. That ministry is expected to play a major role in advancing the National Development Plan.
Technology is the cornerstone of the economy these days. Everything revolves around it, our educational system, our government processes. So, it's just to make government smarter, make the country move a lot more efficiently as it comes to national development. It's just turning it from discussion to delivery.
The new portfolio could help move forward a plan that has been discussed for years across different administrations but has yet to fully materialize. Bastian maintains that the country now has an opportunity to turn years of planning into action.
Prosperity is perpetual, so obviously things that may be there, it will continue to evolve over time, and I'm looking forward to working with that team. They've done a stellar job so far getting the plan to this place, and now it's time to figure out where the low-hanging fruit, where the medium-hanging fruit, and what can we do now, and then start to plan and execute over time.
Now, Janelle, while the speech from the throne introduced a number of new initiatives, one thing that appears clear is that the Davis administration is not necessarily looking to change course, but rather build on the foundation laid during its first term. From healthcare and national security to economic development and social programs, government appears to be signaling continuity across the board, with officials now looking to shift from promises and planning to implementation. For now, I'm Jose Etienne. Back to you in studio.
You all, of course, you both sat in the audience and listened to that speech from the throne, but this administration obviously intent on, one, picking up where they left off at in the last administration, or the last term rather, and building on that. Your thoughts on some of what was discussed? For example, we see there's going to be a very strong focus on healthcare, for example, very important for everyday Bahamians, for every Bahamian, quite frankly, citizen and those residing here, quite important.
Shanique, most of the items, if not all of the items, I've heard before when they launched the blueprint for progress. Most of these items were addressed, introduced, and speech from the throne, get your copy, went into details. One of the ones that stood out to me on page 6, too many Bahamians still feel pressured from high cost of living. They're addressing things that concern Bahamians most. So the high cost of living, too many young people are still searching for opportunity, too many small businesses still face barriers to growth. And so this administration has taken these subjects or issues on, and they have laid out a plan on how they will address them. They're not shunning, they're not hiding, they're not making excuses. Too many Bahamians still have a problem with food. And so also one of the hot topics for the campaign just gone was immigration. And so
we'll get to that because we have a report.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, no
we
problem.
will focus on that. Gabrielle, I want you, Gabrielle, also housing, crime, the economy. Housing is an issue. We know the cost of rent and then why that is so high now, because so many people have turned to or are turning to Airbnb.
Yes. So, Shanique, actually, one of the things that stood out to me, this was new. So I think this government would have mentioned to us in cooperation with their blueprint for change when they first came into office, because they told us that this is a continuation. Most of the items were in progress. So we have to first look at the blueprint for change in tandem with the blueprint for progress. And this was something that they added to their existing policy in housing, which is on page 13. If you get your copy of the speech from the throne, and of course we'll look look through it, is expanding our existing affordable home and rent-to-own initiatives. My government would also establish a residential tenancy authority with powers to inspect, investigate, and enforce rental standards across the Commonwealth.
So
of the
important.
Bahamas.
So important.
I really am looking forward to seeing what teeth, because we see a lot of boards are always created, and then the enforcement always falls down. These boards and these agencies don't have any real teeth to do anything. You still have to go through the courts. If they can bring the system similar to what Canada has, where you can bring landlords and tenants before a board. We have numerous lawyers who may be up for magistrate positions who you can get to preside over these proceedings and sort of clear up the backlog in the court system.
That was mentioned
with
as well.
Simple rental and contract issues. This would be revolutionary. But I'm praying for the sake of Bahamians that it's not just something that slips by, but we can truly see it come to fruition.
That right there is one of them, Peggy. That's a key area, because too many landlords are renting squalid conditions and facilities to people and at top dollar as well.
Yes, and what is important about getting your copy of this document? It is a contract between you and your government, and it's something that you can make reference to, page 13, page 8, page 6. And when you are citing your concern or following up on something that, like the rent situation, you can say, well, you said on page such and such, and you highlight it, you screenshot it, you use your platform. Everybody get a platform. Stop depending on other persons to talk about your issue. And so get a copy of your contract with your administration, this government, second-term government, and hold them accountable. And I always say when I advise people on my platform, don't be disrespectful. You want answers, not a fight.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. I said it since last week. I said it also on Monday evening. I'll say it again right now. What this show will do is hold this administration with its 29-member cabinet accountable. That is what, listen, the cabinet is what it is. Everybody now is assigned their ministry, their agency, their portfolios. So get to work. The people of the Bahamas are depending on it. Lives are depending on it. Families, communities are depending on it. So it's no sort of fairy bed of roses here. We move forward because this nation needs moving forward. Many of these issues that were mentioned in this speech from the throne today must be addressed. And like you say, have teeth and might behind them so that change happens. Meanwhile, though, shortly after the reading of the speech from the throne by the Governor General, the proceedings got underway, of course, as she laid out. And we also spoke with the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, who gave this reaction to the speech.
Again, pretty much more of the same. We're going to take some time, evaluate what has been said, and we'll have a chance to make comprehensive statement in short order.
Sneak peek into how many debates in the House will perhaps shape up was spotted today. You all, I'll tell you this, as the keep rolling, you all. Keep rolling. Can we roll, man? Roll the TP. As parliamentarians took their oath that signifies the start of a new parliamentary session, a sharp exchange was caught by Linton Ritchie Jr. Here's what happened.
On answers from government on details surrounding United States investigators' claims of drug trafficking and corruption, local reporters sought those answers as MPs made their way to the House of Assembly to be sworn in. The question was simple. However, many did not answer. Who is the politician? Take a look.
Are you politician number one? Tweeting explosive allegations from the U.S. Can you speak to those claims? Explosive allegations from the U.S. DEA this week. Explosive allegations from the U.S. this first weekend of your new term. Can you speak to these claims? Can you tell the Bahamian people whether you're a politician number one?
Mum was the word for Progressive Liberal Party parliamentarians as reporters pressed them on their knowledge of an international drug investigation exposed by United States authorities. One of the most alarming allegations being the reported involvement of an unidentified politician. While the halls of Parliament were filled with pomp and pageantry to signal the opening of a new legislative term, the cloud of allegations surrounding a reported secret meeting inside Parliament in October of 2024 continued to hang over the day's events. Nearly a week ago, A 12-page affidavit filed by a DA special agent following the capture of Jonathan Eric Gardner, a Bahamian man accused by U.S. authorities of involvement in an international drug operation, alleged that discussions to facilitate a drug transaction took place with an individual identified only as a, quote, Bahamian politician. The affidavit further claims that the interaction was secretly recorded by a DEA informant. Now, while many PLP members declined to comment, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper appeared to shift attention to the significance of the day's proceedings.
Good morning, Mr. Cooper. Explosive allegations coming from the U.S. Can you speak to that? Are you politician number one? Today is a day of celebration. Okay.
But the tension did not appear to end there. With questions still lingering over the identity of the politician referenced in the documents and public speculation continuing to grow, members of the opposition Free National Movement appeared to take jabs at West Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Kingsley Smith, who had previously issued a statement denying involvement in reports circulating in the public domain. As Smith prepared to take his oath of office, Long Island MP Andre Rollins, along with East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson, appeared to interrupt the moment.
Don't take it. Gotta answer those questions. I, Kingsley Smith, swear by Almighty God that I have no knowledge of any cause or impediment why I am not capable of sitting and voting as a member of the House of Assembly.
And the verbal exchanges did not end there. Elizabeth MP Jobeth Colby Davis was heard calling out, quote, "Help us, Lord," as Rollins prepared to take his oath. Rollins then paused his swearing in to respond.
By Almighty God, that I have no knowledge of any cause or impediment why I am not capable of sitting and voting as a member of the House of Assembly of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You're gonna need it.
Of course, Janea, this is a developing story with not much details, but we can expect to see Mr. Jonathan Eric Gardner return to U.S. courts on Thursday. Details of those proceedings we will stand by for. But for now, reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk.
Well, you heard that? Listen, just a sneak peek. I just know it's going to be quite interesting. Andre Rollins out the gate, stirring the pot. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that exchange and just really the parliament aspect of it and what we can expect. Because you heard one man being sworn in, they even give him an opportunity. You sure you won't do that? You sure you won't be sworn in? But yeah, we're going to take a break and come back. I'll get response from the panel here on Beyond the Headlines on this opening of Parliament Day / evening here on the show. We're back in a moment.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Of course, we are covering and talking about all things opening of Parliament. You saw during the swearing in that officially in the House of Assembly that officially ushered in a new administration, a new parliamentary session. You heard that exchange already. Now, for those of us in media who's been in media for a minute, we know that a Dr. Andre Rollins being in Parliament means, you know, just action, explosives, and be here for it. I'll tell you the truth, we here for it. I want to bring in Peggy and Gabrielle. Ladies, you all saw a lot of it. You all even heard, because it created quite the rumble and ripples. Your thoughts on this new House of Assembly?
It's gonna be explosive, and the Senate. I mean,
And
this is gonna be the movies. I have two senators in particular that I'm gonna keep a sharp eye on, because I expect drama from them. But what Kingsley Smith did, he stayed focused. He did what he was there to do, and he ignored. And that is what the PLP did during the campaign. They were never distracted. They kept focused on progress. Remember, you were elected to progress this nation. And so my advice to the government side, let them cockle. That's why people don't like them. Stay focused on the people's business. You be the focused, mature one. Let them be the entertainment.
Well, I think the Honorable Jo Beth Colby started the entertainment today, because her and Dr. Andre Rollins moment
she is one
was
too that ain't gonna stand down.
Viral moment. But she said while he was taking his out that Lord help us, and he said.
So she said that he was taking his oath.
Yes, Lord help us, and the clap back came. Clap back. And
he was going to prayer.
What did he say?
It was going to prayer.
It was what?
It was going saying a prayer. God help us. And with him being there, you had to ask for special grace from God, because you know what's coming.
What was his response?
You said
you're going to need it.
He said you're going to need it. And that is the opposition that the Bahamian people want to see. To be honest, the Bahamian people have seen a bit more laid back opposition, a little bit more demure. It's not about crazy. It's about responsive. It's about being on top of their game. Opposition doesn't necessarily mean negative. I think we always associate the two together, but they are there to do a job, because even if the Progressive Liberal Party had won every seat, the Governor General would have had to appoint an opposition. They are there for checks and balances, and I think we will see a much stronger version of them, or at least I'm praying we see a much stronger version of them in this sitting of the House of Assembly.
But Bahamians already showed them. They reject the aggression. They reject the short temper during the campaign. Bahamians might like trapsy, but they don't like crazy. They don't like they don't like that aggression that we saw today. Whilst the honorable gentleman was swearing in, Bahamians, despite us being trapsy, we want our government to be a government of order.
Sensationalizing it a bit. I don't think that was aggressive at all. I think it was a little bit of teasing that they do all the time.
Majority of Bahamians agree with me on the show.
Just after that, after that came the comments of the Honorable Jo Beth from her seat. So it apples and apples. I think it was a little bit of teasing, a little bit of entertainment. I don't think it was anything that serious to say it was aggression to take it to that level. It wasn't any aggression.
I'll tell you, whatever it is, we will certainly be watching.
With Mr. Rollins.
But we know him, and we know what he brings there. But again, we the Bahamian people will be watching. Certainly, the media will be watching. And taking anyone to task. Again, it's all about the people's business, getting what needs to be done to move this nation forward. Well, here's something that people are keenly watching and very interested in seeing and hoping that this too actually happens, and happens almost immediately. The Davis administration is taking a stronger stance on immigration. A new policy initiative outlined in the speech from the throne talks about a move to locate people who overstay their visit. Janelle Longley has the story.
That was good.
Yeah, very good. We don't hear any
national identification documents. The Davis administration over the next 5 years plans to introduce an immigration intelligence unit intended to enhance fraud detection.
My government intends to introduce mandatory sentencing provisions for public officers found facilitating immigration or passport fraud.
At the onset of the Davis administration's
that
first
ugly
term,
bottle of water they
concerns
had
arose
there.
regarding
You know that was
abuse
a
of work
protocol? No,
permits,
right?
leading to the creation of an Immigration Commission of Inquiry in 2023, though no word or update was ever provided by that committee on those issues. In this term, there are plans to introduce an Employer Immigration Compliance Act,
Imposing stronger penalties for abuse of the work permit system.
and those provisions do not stop there. Also creating a Bahamian e-verification portal to ensure eligibility of foreigners to work in the Bahamas and stricter penalties.
My government also intends to introduce daily overstay fines for unlawful overstay.
The Davis administration also addressed labor issues. Up to May 12, unions were still reviewing new proposed industrial agreements. Among its promises, Employment Bill 2026
will strengthen workplace standards, expand maternity protections, provide leave for mental health and wellness, and establish new safeguards for working parents.
And it's been a common concern for many visiting public offices about the strenuous wait times and inconveniences. A National Productivity Council is also being created to improve national efficiency and performance for the public sector. Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Of course, that is so much, and it's quite wide-reaching, Peggy and Gabrielle. You heard the new initiatives as it relates to labor, productivity. Listen, we talk about the public service and the need for greater productivity. Earlier this week, we also, in jest somewhat, talk about, that tip to be able to get things done. Well, there's a crackdown on that. And then, of course, you all heard the immigration, which is hugely important. Everybody paying attention to, especially in the election season that just went, about cracking down on immigration. And so what was announced today, in part, because it was just so much announced and talked about, is the fact that people who overstay from day one, the fines will be going again. When we see these things happening in real time, they will really be both of you, they will be something that really is transforming and transformative.
Yeah, what we see in this speech from the throne and also in the blueprint for progress is it shows that this administration, this leader, is paying attention to the concerns of Bahamians, and he's making every attempt to close the gaps. We say my government also established an immigration fraud intelligence unit dedicated to investigating and prosecuting immigration fraud, and we know that is a big concern for many Bahamians. The passport scandal and all of that, and we saw a custom officer was charged before the court. My government intends to introduce mandatory sentencing provision to public officers found facilitating immigration or passport fraud. And so obviously this administration is paying attention and making every effort to fill these gaps, to close in any availability to commit fraud and any other crime in this country.
So ladies, again, this is another unit, and my fear, as always, is a lot of times we have these commissions, these boards, but they don't have any teeth. We have to give our people the legislative power to really go after these persons. We have to fund, I repeat, fund these units, commissions, in order for them to be able to operate effectively. So that's all I would say there on immigration. So once we can see them have the funding and the backing, I think we can see something like that really bear fruit. And I'm honestly, I'm wishing the government all the best, because these are things that are going to benefit all of us as Bahamians. So it makes no sense rooting for the demise, because all of us have to live here together as one. So I am praying for their strength to be able to deliver on their promises. But the other thing, Shanique, that they mentioned, very, very important, this Productivity Commission. I was able to speak briefly with Latre Raming on it. And Senator, Senator, Director, Communications. Let me make sure I get all of the titles.
All of them.
I was able to speak briefly with him on what that is. And he basically told me in a nutshell, paraphrasing, that it was to keep government workers accountable to us. So we complain a lot about going to these ministries, but I really wish, Shanique, maybe you can invite him on a show to really flesh that out some more, to talk about how does that work versus the Public Service Commission, who is there to discipline and for these government workers to go before the commission if they're not performing based on their ACRs, etc. How is that going to be different and ensure productivity from them? Maybe our new Minister of Innovation can help to digitize some of these systems so that when I go to Ministry of Works and I submit my plan there, and the woman tell me come back in 2 weeks, it is still the same place I even from 2 weeks ago.
Well, Gabrielle, the good news is that Ministry of Innovation also has technology attached to it. And so, again, I'll tell you, the Bahamian people voted the way they did for one reason, and that is to see movement happen and in the right direction so that we all of us, our lives are better for it at the end of the day, that we can access opportunities and be also skilled to take advantage of those opportunities, but also that we hold our government and various elected officials in it and opposition accountable. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So listen, you all, I want to shift quickly before we hear the indication to wrap up. Many of you around the country embraced Temperature Check, and I am so grateful for that. Temperature Check became the political series this election season, and I'll tell you what it did. As you all saw, my Temperature Check panel told the truth as they saw it. They went out and they put in the work and they told it. And much of what they called and how they called it and how they gave their analysis and assessments bared out in the election. And so I want to say to you, Peggy, to you, Gabrielle, and to Howard, Michael,
Why didn't you tell me to bring the tissue?
Michael hung out with us a few times. On Temperature Check as well. You all did an amazing job. You didn't, I mean, listen, all kind of various accusations. What you like things?
I want a minute.
Yes, go ahead.
Because you're commending us and thank you so much. But I also want to thank you for including me, which was an extraordinary experience. I have people now shouting, "No, Temperature Check." No, the name is Peggy. But I wanna recognize you, because I don't think you get the credit due to you. I've been with you now 10 years, and I've seen you bring out the best stories. I saw one of your stories with former Deputy Prime Minister. Brent Simonet went crazy and spin off. But in my opinion, you never get the credit due. Temperature Check took the Bahamas by storm. I mean, like people said, they were glued to it. If they didn't get the original time, they went 10 o'clock or they went to YouTube to watch. And so I want to congratulate you on you being, I keep telling you, you're the S, right? You're the thing. You're the product.
But I also want to thank Howard Johnson, because it happened one day. We were just talking, and we were saying, like, man, I want to do something. I was saying, I want to do something this election season. And that is how that came up. I also want to say thank you to the Grand Bahama panel.
They in town. They in town. Shanique, your people in town.
Yeah, they absolutely.
Grand Bahamians are in town. They love you.
For loving Beyond the Headlines and Temperature Check. Gabrielle, we don't jump in quickly.
Yes, thank you so much, Shanique, for definitely having me. Thank you to the panel. I mean, as we agree to disagree, our heated debates and discussion, it made it all the fun. Thank you to the viewers, because you make the show who it is, what it is, and none of us could be here without you. And thank you for taking us all around the world. Yes. Wherever you go, I mean, Shanique, as we meet them in the airport, everywhere, they tell us about the show and they've fallen in love with us, and we've become a part of their household. So shout out to our top fans.
Yes.
Mr.
We love you.
Mr. Forbes,
we do love you. And I'll tell you, whether you in the United States, in Europe, yes, that's right, the region, of course. I mean, as far away as Australia and Africa, thank you for watching.
Yes.
And in the UK, for watching and taking this show with you, the clips and the various things. Thank you so much. It's really awesome. And listen, ladies, we can do amazing things. We ain't wrapping up or saying we can do more just incredible things.
And we got those
holding the
shirts.
government's feet, and we got the shirts. What we can do with them? But again, holding this administration's feet to the fire, and expecting them to deliver on their promises. That is also what we commit to you to continue doing, and having the interviews to get you the answers that you need as well. And so, hey, stick around.
Congratulations.
Stick around. Thank you very much.
And
Thank
shout
you,
out
ladies.
to my mommy, because I come on this TV and she's be like, yo, Sammy, no shout out. Shout out to my mommy. I love you. The #1 watcher. Listen, she's go back and rewind that TV.
So I love
They
her.
got rewind.
No, I like her because she reminds me of my parents. My parents are truly my biggest supporters, and my father, who is having a birthday today. Happy birthday.
Oh, and happy birthday to my little
Yes,
sister.
happy
Happy birthday, Naya,
is-
today.
And my
Oh,
nephew
happy
yesterday.
birthday.
I tell you, it's a
Sister,
whole
love
lot.
you.
But listen, I have to go because I tell you, we've been here to work since about 6 or so this morning, so they will cut me off immediately. I'll all try that. I will doggone report each of y'all. Anyways, listen, thank you all so much for the entire Beyond the Headlines team right now in the control room. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much for tuning in all day long. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening.